Hi, my name is Gabby, and welcome to this interactive video about craniosynostosis. Craniosynostosis is a rare medical condition that tends to be genetic. This video will be an interactive video, so there will be different website links that will be scattered around the screen, so whenever you get confused or will want to read more about the condition whilst you are watching this video, then please do click on the links that will be shown. Alternatively, there will be links down below. Hope you enjoy. Craniosynostosis is a rare condition that is normally genetic and it affects the sutures, aka the joints, in the baby's skull. So when a baby is born, the sutures in their skull, or the joints, are normally like this. So that is when the baby has soft spots. That is because the sutures in their skull usually fuse after a baby is born. But for babies with craniosynostosis, one or two of the sutures fuse together before the baby is born. When I was born, the doctors at the hospital had no idea what was wrong with me. They had never seen anything like it before. Craniosynostosis is a rare genetic condition that affects 1 in a couple of 100,000 babies, depending on the syndrome that they are born with. There are so many different syndromes that each has their own name and their own characteristics. For example, there is sagittal craniosynostosis, which is the centre, unicoronal synostosis, which affects either the left or front part, like these bits right here, Pfeffer syndrome, amongst other things. There are 4 specialist hospitals that specialise in craniosynostosis in the UK. One is Alderhay Hospital in London. 2 is Birmingham Children's Hospital. 3 is John Radcliffe's Hospital in Oxford. And the last one is Great Ormond Street Hospital in London. The next clip is from a dear friend of mine called Charlotte Ashby, who was born with something called unicoronal craniosynostosis.
I'm Charlotte, I'm 20 years old and I'm a uni student, and the craniofacial condition I have is called unicoronal craniosynostosis. This means that when I was born, the plates in my skull fused prematurely, so it resulted in a facial disfigurement where one side of my face looks like flatter or squashed compared to the other. My condition's not genetic, so no one else in my family has it. But it's also non-syndromic, which in terms of craniofacial conditions sometimes means that it's a little bit more difficult to spot. When I was a baby, my parents really struggled to get a diagnosis, so I was older than a lot of other people are when I first got diagnosed and treated. This tends to be it's like a running thing that a lot of other people experience it too, if they've got a similar condition to mine. So over the years I've had 8 operations, and mostly on my face and jaw, and I've also been in orthodontics for over 10 years, and I've had to have an operation to correct a disfigurement in my jaw caused by my condition, which actually failed twice, and this means the condition's really disrupted my uni education, because I've had to drop out for a year. I can't return for this year to have all these operations, and then I have had to suspend my studies. And also, having a craniofacial condition has impacted my life in terms of looking a bit different and how other people treat me. So I've had nasty comments since I can remember, and secondary school was not a particularly pleasant experience. There was a lot of bullying and mean comments related to my appearance, and this obviously affected my self-esteem and confidence. But once I got to sixth form, this wasn't a problem anymore, and I'm also very lucky that the condition hasn't really impacted anything else in my life, such as like my balance, sleep, learning. I'm quite lucky in that respect. and I've still got a few operations to go, but when they're done, hopefully the condition won't impact my life or be much as a worry anymore.
I was born with complex multi-sutural craniosynostosis. There isn't actually a name for my syndrome. For me, the sagittal, which is the centre suture, and the coronal, which is my left coronal, which is here, were fused together before I was born, meaning that my skull had no flexibility for when I was born. As I developed, more and new characteristics have since been discovered, and they point towards a syndromic craniosynostosis. It actually might be isolated, and maybe only a handful of other people have it around the world. Syndromic is a series of characteristics that fit a certain diagnosis. Non-syndromic is a new diagnosis or an isolated diagnosis that does not have any series of characteristics. I have been under the care of Great Ormond Street Hospital since I was a few months old. I had my first checkup when I was 6 months old, and my very first operation when I was 9 months old, and I've had plenty of operations throughout the years. I am no longer under the care of the craniofacial department at Great Ormond Street Hospital because I am transferred to adult services. However, I also am under the care of the maxillofacial and dental department at Great Ormond Street Hospital currently. I was also under the care of ophthalmology department, but since then I was discharged when I was 8 years old, I think, and I now go to Specsavers for my yearly checkup. So craniosynostosis can affect people in different ways. For me, it affects my eyesight, it affected my speech, but we didn't realise what was the cause of it until I was 18 years old. When I was 18, we found out that I had a translation of chromosomes 22 and 15, like my dad, and I also have an extra branch of the chromosome 15. I also have scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine, minor learning difficulties, slow processing skills, amongst other things. But that doesn't stop me from doing everything I love, and it also doesn't stop me from going to university to get a degree in media. Thank you so much for watching. I am sorry if it was too much to listen to. It is a rare condition that not a lot of people know about. But I hope you learnt something new and will take something from this. Craniosynostosis affects at least 1 in a couple 100,000 babies every year. It depends on the syndrome, how rare it is. For me, it is extremely rare. There isn't actually a name for my syndrome. My dad said it should be called Gabby syndrome. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you soon. Bye. The top of my head, especially around my skull, so I have a scar that goes from one ear all the way across the top of my head to the other ear. You probably can't see it, but that bit there is my scar. So it kind of like goes all the way across. See it very well, but yeah, so it goes all the way across the top. I've never done this on camera before. This is the first. I'm giving myself a very lovely hairdo. is what the problem. So no, I might not be able to see. Hang on. Okay. I'm sorry if I look really silly, but this is the only way I can show you. So it starts there, goes all the way across the top, and then it goes all the way down to my other ear. So yeah. Hi guys, so I wanted to show you my scar. I was born with craniosynostosis, so here we go.